Taeho Kim stood in the corner of the Great Council chamber, watching aliens argue about trade routes. No one looked at him. No one asked for his opinion. For 3 years, he had been Earth's ambassador to the Galactic Council, and for 3 years he might as well have been invisible. The chamber was huge, with seats for representatives from 47 different species. The walls were made of crystal that showed the stars outside. Beautiful ships moved past the windows like silver fish. Everything here was advanced, clean, and expensive. Earth had nothing like this. The mining rights to Sector 7 belonged to the Altarian Federation, said Ambassador Veltar, a tall blue creature with 4 arms. Humans have no business there. Taeho tried to speak. Earth would like to. The chair recognizes the Centauri delegate, said the council leader, completely ignoring Taeho. This happened every day. Earth was mentioned in meetings only when other species wanted to complain about human expansion. The galaxy saw humans as new, weak, and unimportant. Most aliens forgot Earth existed at all. Taeho's communication device buzzed. A message from home. He read it quietly while the aliens continued their discussion about territories that humans were not allowed to enter. The message was from So-Young Park, Earth's best scientist who studied alien life. She worked in a small lab on Luna, trying to understand technologies that other species would not share. Her message was short. Strange signals detected. Need to talk. After the meeting ended with no mention of Earth, Taeho returned to his small office. The human embassy was tiny compared to the massive structures other species had built. Earth could not afford anything bigger. He called So-Young on the secure channel. Her face appeared on his screen, tired and excited at the same time. Taeho, we are picking up something unusual, she said. Deep space monitors are detecting energy patterns from outside the galaxy. The signals are old, really old. How old? Taeho asked. Maybe 20,000 years, maybe more. The energy signatures do not match anything we know. But here is the strange part. Similar signals are being detected all over the galaxy. Ancient monitoring stations are turning on after being silent for thousands of years. Taeho rubbed his eyes. What do the other species say about this? That is the problem. They are not sharing information with us. The Galactic Science Council says the data is too complex for human understanding. They told our research team to focus on simpler projects. This was normal. Advanced species treated humans like children who could not handle grown-up knowledge. They shared basic technologies, enough to keep Earth happy, but kept the important discoveries to themselves. So-Young, what do you think these signals mean? I do not know yet. But Taeho, there is something else. The language in these signals, when we try to decode them, they have patterns that remind me of old human languages, very old ones. Before Taeho could ask more questions, his door chimed. Captain Hyun-Sik Lee of Earth's Defense Fleet entered without waiting for permission. Lee was a short, serious man who rarely smiled. Ambassador, we have a problem, Lee said. Our patrol ships are detecting massive energy readings near the edge of our solar system. Something big is moving out there. Taeho put So-Young on speaker. Captain Lee, Dr. Park was just telling me about strange signals from deep space. Lee looked surprised. Doctor, are these signals connected to what we are seeing near Earth? I think they might be, So-Young said. Captain, what exactly are your ships detecting? Energy patterns that should not exist. Our instruments can barely measure them. Whatever is out there, it is using technology far beyond anything in the galaxy, and it is heading toward Earth. The 3 humans looked at each other through their screens. Earth had a small defense fleet, 12 ships that were considered primitive by galactic standards. If something powerful was approaching their world, they had no way to stop it. Should we ask the Galactic Council for help? Taeho asked. Lee made a bitter sound. I tried. They said human sensors are probably malfunctioning. They suggested we upgrade our equipment and stop bothering them with false alarms. This was typical. When humans reported problems, other species assumed they were wrong. Earth's technology was considered so backward that human observations were not trusted. There is more, So-Young said quietly. I have been studying the ancient signals in secret. My team found references to something called the Guardians in old archaeological records. These records appear on planets across the galaxy, but they are all from before current civilizations existed. What happened to these Guardians? Taeho asked. They vanished. 20,000 years ago, they left the galaxy and went into the dark space between stars. No one knows why. Lee was checking his reports while they talked. The energy readings are getting stronger. Whatever is coming, it will reach Earth's outer system in 2 days. Tejo felt cold. Earth was alone. The galaxy did not care about humans. Their technology was weak. Their military was small. If something dangerous was approaching, they would have to face it by themselves. So Young, keep working on those signals. Maybe they will tell us what we are dealing with. Captain Lee, prepare the fleet for anything. I will try once more to get help from the Council. After ending the calls, Tejo sat in his small office and looked out at the busy space station. Thousands of alien ships moved through the traffic lanes. Advanced civilizations conducted business worth more money than Earth's entire economy. And somewhere in the dark between galaxies, something ancient was returning. He thought about the billions of humans living on Earth and the colonies, unaware that their quiet little corner of space might soon become very dangerous. The galaxy had ignored Earth for centuries. Now something was coming that might force everyone to remember that humans existed. Tejo began writing another request for help, knowing it would probably be ignored like all the others. But he had to try. Earth needed friends and time was running out. Jinwoo Choi had not slept in 3 days. His team at Earth's Deep Space Research Institute worked around the clock, trying to understand the signals coming from the void. The coffee machine in their lab had broken down yesterday, but no one had time to fix it. Dr. Choi, you need to see this, called Miran Song from her workstation. She was supposed to be commanding the colony ship New Horizon, but the strange signals had brought her back to Earth. Her ship now waited in orbit while she helped with the research. Jinwoo walked over to her screen. Numbers and wave patterns filled the display. What am I looking at? I compared our signals with data from archaeological sites across the galaxy. The oldest ruins, the ones that predate every known civilization. Miran pointed to matching patterns. Jinwoo, these signals are not random. They are coordinates. Coordinates to what? That is what worries me. Every set of coordinates points to the same location, our solar system. Across the lab, So Young Park worked with a new team member, Dong-Soo Han. Han was a veteran space marine who had volunteered to help after reporting strange dreams. He claimed the signals reminded him of something, though he could not explain what. The language patterns are becoming clearer, So Young announced. I can decode about 30% of the messages now. They mentioned something called the Long Watch and reference Earth by an ancient name, Terra Guardian. Han looked up from his screen. Terra Guardian. I have heard that name before. Where? Jinwoo asked. In my dreams. For weeks now I dream about battles in space. Huge ships fighting things that should not exist. And always, someone mentions Terra Guardian. Han rubbed his temples. The dreams feel like memories, but that is impossible. I was born on Mars colony. Jinwoo's communication device chimed. A priority message from the Galactic Council. He opened it, hoping for good news. The Council has reviewed your reports about anomalous signals, he read aloud. They conclude that human equipment is detecting normal stellar background radiation. They suggest Earth invest in better sensor technology and stop filing false reports that waste Council time. Miran cursed in Korean. They are not even looking at our data, because they think we are too stupid to understand what we are seeing, So Young said bitterly. But Jinwoo noticed something else in the message. Wait, look at this attachment. They are saying the signals are normal, but they also sent warnings to all galactic fleets to avoid certain sectors of space. The attachment contained a list of coordinates that ships were told to stay away from. Jinwoo compared them to Miran's archaeological data. They matched perfectly. The Council knows something, he said. They are telling us the signals are nothing, but they are warning their own ships to avoid the areas where these signals originated. So Young pulled up her translation work. I decoded more of the messages. They mentioned the Watcher's return, and the ancient compact must be honored. There are also references to something called the Eternal Vigil. Han suddenly stood up. Eternal Vigil, that name, I know that name. From your dreams? Miran asked. Yes, but more than that. Han closed his eyes, concentrating. In the dreams I am on a ship, a massive ship with weapons that can break planets. The ship's name is Eternal Vigil. We are fighting things that eat light itself. Jinwoo felt a chill. Han, what else do you remember? We were losing. The enemy was too strong. So we made a choice. The best of us, the strongest warriors, took the fight away from inhabited space. We followed the enemy into the dark between galaxies. Han opened his eyes. I remember standing on the bridge looking back at Earth one last time. Someone said we might never return, but Earth would be safe. That is impossible, Miran said. You are 35 years old. These signals are 20,000 years old. I know it is impossible, but the memories feel real. So Young showed them her latest translation. Look at this message. It says, Children of Terra, the watch ends. We return to protect what we left behind. Jinwoo studied the data again. The signals were getting stronger every hour. More archaeological sites across the galaxy were activating. Ancient beacons that had been silent since before recorded history were suddenly broadcasting. Dr. Choi called a technician from across the room. Long-range sensors are picking up something new. A massive object entering our solar system from galactic north. Everyone gathered around the main display. The object was huge, larger than any ship in the galactic fleet. It moved in a straight line toward Earth, ignoring all traffic control signals. The energy signature matches the deep space signals, the technician reported. Whatever has been broadcasting from the void, it is here. Jinwoo opened a communication channel to Earth's defense fleet. Captain Lee's face appeared on screen. Looking worried. Captain, are you tracking the incoming object? We are. Our weapon systems cannot even target it properly. The ship is using technology that makes our computers confused. What do you know about this? We think it is connected to the ancient signals. Captain, this might be a ship that left Earth 20,000 years ago. Lee stared at him. That is crazy, I know. But the evidence keeps pointing to the same conclusion. Humans were in space long before our recorded history, and now they are coming home. Han stepped forward. Captain Lee, I volunteer to be part of any contact team. I think I might be able to communicate with them. Why would a Marine be able to talk to ancient astronauts? Lee asked. Because I think I am one of them. Or my memories are. Miran checked her instruments. The ship will reach Earth orbit in 6 hours. Every government on Earth is asking questions we cannot answer. The Galactic Council still claims nothing unusual is happening. So Young completed another translation. This new message says, prepare the awakening. The children must remember what they were. Jinwoo looked around the lab at his exhausted team. Outside, Earth's small fleet was moving to intercept something beyond their understanding. The galaxy continued to ignore human concerns, and somewhere in space a ship older than civilization was coming home. Keep working on those translations, he told So Young. Miran, get your ship ready for anything. Han, report to Captain Lee for contact duty. He turned back to the displays showing the approaching object. Whatever was about to happen would change everything. Earth had been a forgotten world on the edge of galactic civilization. But if their research was correct, humans had once been something very different. The signals from the void carried one final message that So Young had just decoded. The Guardians returned to claim their inheritance. Admiral Wu Jin Nam stood on the bridge of Earth's flagship, watching something impossible approach his homeworld. The ship emerging from hyperspace was 5 kilometers long and shaped like no vessel in any galactic database. Its hull seemed to bend light around it, making it hard to look at directly. Admiral, the object is requesting permission to enter Earth orbit, reported Communications Officer Narration. The message is in Old Korean, sir. Very old. What does it say? Guardian fleet requests permission to come home. Wu Jin had commanded Earth's expanded fleet for 2 years. When the deep space signal started, Earth's government had quietly built more ships and trained more crews. Other species mocked the sudden military buildup, calling it typical human paranoia. Now Wu Jin was grateful for every ship he had. Sir, I am reading massive energy signatures from that vessel, Nari reported. Power levels that should not be possible. And, sir, the hull composition. It is not made of any known material. Young pilot Kyung Ho Shin spoke from his station. Admiral, I am receiving a direct communication request. Someone wants to talk to our senior officer. Put it through. The main screen flickered and showed a human face. The man looked Korean, but his eyes held depths that spoke of centuries. His uniform was unlike anything in Earth's military, decorated with symbols that hurt to look at. I am Commander Sang-min Oh of the battleship Eternal Vigil, the man said in perfect modern Korean. I request permission to speak with Earth's leadership. Wu Jin found his voice. Commander, I am Admiral Nam of the Earth Defense Fleet. Are you human? I was human when I left Terra 20,000 years ago. What I am now is more complicated. Sang-min smiled sadly. Admiral, we need to meet in person. There are things your people must know before it is too late. Before what is too late? Before they return. 2 hours later, Wu Jin led a small team aboard the Eternal Vigil. The docking bay alone was larger than most Earth ships. Everything inside looked organic and technological at the same time, as if the ship had grown rather than been built. Commander Sang-min waited with a small group of his crew. They all looked human, but something was different about them. They moved with perfect coordination and their eyes reflected light like metal. "Welcome aboard, Admiral," Sang-min said. "I apologize for the dramatic arrival, but time is short. Walk with me." They moved through corridors that seemed to shift and change as they passed. Nari tried to scan the walls with her instruments, but the readings made no sense. "Commander, your ship uses technology far beyond anything in the galaxy," Nari said. "The galaxy has become weak while we were away," Sang-min replied. "The current species focus on comfort and trade. They have forgotten that the universe has teeth." They entered a vast chamber filled with displays showing star maps. But these were not normal star charts. They showed territories extending far beyond the galactic rim into the dark spaces between galaxies. 20,000 years ago, Sang-min began, humanity ruled this galaxy, not through conquest but through protection. We were the guardians, the watchers who kept the darkness at bay. Kyung-ho stared at the displays. "That is impossible. Humans only achieved spaceflight a few centuries ago. That is what we wanted your descendants to believe. After the war, we erased the memories of those we left behind. It was kinder that way." Sang-min touched a control and the displays changed. They showed battles in space, massive human fleets fighting against things that seemed to devour light itself. The enemy came from outside our reality. We called them the Devourers. They consume not just matter and energy, but the possibility of existence. Wherever they pass, nothing can ever exist again. Wu Jin studied the battle recordings. Human ships in the displays used weapons that tore holes in space itself. If humans were so powerful, what happened? We won and lost at the same time. We drove the Devourers back, but they were not destroyed. So we made a choice. Our best warriors, our most advanced ships, followed them into the void between galaxies. We have been fighting them in the dark for 20,000 years. And the rest of humanity? We erased their memories and sealed their advanced capabilities. Better to be weak and safe than strong and hunted. The other species in this galaxy developed while Terra slept. Sang-min's expression was grim. We programmed them to see humans as primitive newcomers. Protection through invisibility. Nari checked her readings again. "Commander, the genetic scans of your crew show they are human, but with modifications I cannot understand. 20,000 years of war changes you. We adapted to survive in spaces where normal humans would die instantly. We learned to interface directly with our ship's systems. We became something more than human, but we never forgot what we were protecting." Kyung-ho asked the question they were all thinking. "Why did you come back now?" Sang-min's face darkened. "Because we lost contact with our deep space watch post 6 months ago. The Devourers have found a way past our defenses. They are coming here." The displays showed new star charts, invasion routes leading directly toward the galaxy's inhabited systems. The current galactic species cannot fight this enemy. Their weapons are useless against something that exists partially outside reality. Only human technology, real human technology, can hurt the Devourers. Wu Jin felt the weight of responsibility settling on his shoulders. "What do you need from us?" "We need to wake up your people. The genetic locks we placed on humanity can be reversed. Every human carries the potential to become what their ancestors were. But the process is dangerous and not everyone will survive it." Nari looked up from her instruments. "Commander, I am detecting energy buildups throughout your ship. Are you preparing for battle?" "Always." "Admiral, your government needs to understand the situation. The galaxy that has ignored Earth for centuries is about to discover they need us desperately. But first, we must convince them that the threat is real." The ship's communication system activated. "Commander, long-range sensors detect Devourer scouts entering the galactic rim. Estimate contact with inhabited systems in 36 hours. Sang-min turned to the Earth delegation. "Admiral, the war is beginning again. Your people must choose quickly. Remain safe and weak while the galaxy burns, or remember what they once were and fight for existence itself." Wu Jin looked at his officers. They were ordinary humans facing extraordinary circumstances. But if Sang-min was telling the truth, ordinary was no longer enough. "Commander, what do we need to do?" "Return to Earth, gather your leaders. We will begin the awakening process with volunteers." "And Admiral?" Sang-min's ancient eyes met his. "Prepare your people for the truth. Humanity was never the newcomer species. We were the galaxy's first and greatest civilization. As they prepared to leave the eternal vigil, Kyung-ho noticed something. The ship's corridors now felt familiar, as if he had walked them before. When he mentioned this to Nari, she nodded. I feel it too. Like coming home. Sang-min overheard them. The awakening has already begun. Your genetic memories are surfacing. Soon, you will remember what your species truly is. The small Earth delegation returned to their ships, carrying news that would change everything. Above them, the eternal vigil waited in orbit like a sleeping giant, ready to wake a world that had forgotten it was once the guardian of all existence. Supreme Commander Hee-jin Bae stood in the Situation Room deep beneath Geneva, watching reports flow in from across Earth. 3 days had passed since Commander Sang-mino's revelation, and the world was changing in ways that defied understanding. Ma'am, the Volunteer Awakening Program has processed 3,000 candidates, reported Dr. Yoon-Hai Kang, Earth's leading genetic researcher. 87% are successfully adapting to the genetic modifications. The changes are remarkable. On the main screen, video feeds showed humans doing impossible things. A construction worker in Seoul was lifting steel beams that should have required machinery. A computer programmer in São Paulo was interfacing directly with quantum computers using only her thoughts. A farmer in Kansas was somehow understanding complex physics equations he had never studied. What about the risks? Hai-jin asked. 13% of candidates experience severe neural stress. We have to stop their awakening process. But those who adapt successfully show enhanced strength, speed, intelligence, and something we are calling technological intuition. Former Ambassador Tae-ho, now serving as Earth's diplomatic coordinator, entered the room with urgent news. Commander, the Galactic Council is demanding an immediate explanation. Our colony ships are moving through space at speeds that should be impossible. They want to know what we are hiding. Hye-jin checked the tactical displays. Human vessels enhanced with technology from the Eternal Vigil were outperforming the best ships in the galaxy. Earth's small fleet had become a force that could challenge any military power. What are you telling them? She asked Tae-ho. The truth, that we are preparing to defend the galaxy from an external threat. They are not listening. Dr. Kang pulled up genetic data on her workstation. Commander, the awakening process is revealing something fascinating. The modifications Sang-min's people made 20,000 years ago were not just genetic locks. They were survival programs. Human DNA has been quietly adapting and improving for 200 centuries, waiting for activation. Meaning what? Meaning modern humans are potentially more capable than our ancestors were. The volunteers who complete awakening successfully are displaying abilities that exceed what Sang-min described about ancient humanity. A communication alert sounded. Admiral Wu Jin's face appeared on the main screen from his flagship. Commander Bae, we have a situation. A combined galactic fleet is approaching Earth. 67 vessels from 12 different species. They are demanding we stand down our enhanced ships and submit to inspection. Hee-jin felt anger rise in her chest. For centuries, the galaxy had ignored and dismissed humanity. Now that Earth showed real capability, they wanted to control it. Admiral, what is our fleet status? 37 enhanced vessels ready for action. Ma'am, our new capabilities are significant. Each of our ships could disable multiple galactic vessels without taking damage. Tae-ho stepped forward. Commander, we should try diplomacy first. If we fight the galactic fleet, we become the aggressor. And if we submit to inspection, they will try to take our technology and leave us defenseless when the real enemy arrives. Hye-jin replied. On cue, Commander Sang-min appeared on another screen from the Eternal Vigil. Supreme Commander, my sensors detect the approaching fleet. This is an expected response. Weaker species often fear strength they do not understand. Commander, oh, can we convince them of the threat we face? Unlikely. They will need to see proof. But we do not have time for extended negotiations. My long-range sensors detect Devourer advance forces 16 hours from the outer systems. Dr. Kang looked up from her research. Commander Bae, I have been analyzing the psychological profiles of awakened humans. They show increased aggression toward threats and stronger protective instincts. This may be intentional programming. What do you mean? The ancient modifications may have included behavioral changes designed to make humans more effective guardians. The awakened volunteers are all expressing the same desire, to protect Earth and everything in it. Admiral Wu Jin reported new developments. Ma'am, the Galactic Fleet is demanding immediate surrender. They claim Earth poses a threat to galactic security. Hyojin made her decision. Admiral, signal the Galactic Fleet. Inform them that Earth will demonstrate our defensive capabilities, not surrender them. Commander, that sounds like we are threatening them, Teho warned. Good. Maybe it is time the galaxy understood that humans are not harmless. She opened a channel to all Earth forces. All ships, all awakened personnel, this is Supreme Commander Bay. The galaxy has ignored us for centuries. They have denied us technology, excluded us from decisions, and treated us like children. Today that ends. The response was immediate. Enhanced humans across Earth and the colonies felt the call to action. Something deep in their modified genetics responded to the command from their military leader. Admiral Wu Jin coordinated the demonstration, beginning non-lethal engagement of Galactic Fleet. What happened next was recorded by sensors across the solar system. Human ships moved with impossible speed and precision. They disabled the Galactic Fleet's weapons, navigation, and communications without destroying a single vessel. In 12 minutes, 67 advanced warships were floating helplessly in space. The demonstration was not just technological, it was psychological. Every species in the galaxy learned simultaneously that Earth could have conquered them at any point, but had chosen not to. Open a channel to the Galactic Fleet commanders, Hyojin ordered. When the connection was established, she addressed the gathered aliens with calm authority. This is Supreme Commander Hyojin Bay of Earth. For centuries, you have treated humanity as primitive and ignorant. You have denied us membership in your councils and access to your technologies. Today you learn the truth. She gestured to the tactical display showing the disabled fleet. We could have taken control of this galaxy generations ago. We chose restraint. We chose to let you develop and grow. But that time is ending. An external threat approaches that will destroy everything you have built. Only Earth has the knowledge and ability to fight this enemy. You have three choices. Accept human leadership in the defense of the galaxy, attempt to fight us and face certain defeat, or hide in your colonies while existence itself is consumed. Teho whispered urgently. Commander, you are basically threatening the entire galactic community. No, she replied loudly enough for the transmission to carry her words. I am offering them salvation. Commander Sang-min's voice came through the communication system. Supreme Commander, Devourer scouts have engaged our outer watch posts. We have 8 hours before they reach inhabited systems. Hyojin looked directly into the camera transmitting to the Galactic Fleet. In 8 hours, you will see what we have been protecting you from. After that, the only question will be whether you want to survive or maintain your pride. She closed the channel and turned to her staff. Dr. Kang, accelerate the awakening program. We need every capable human ready for battle. Admiral Wu Jin, prepare the fleet for real combat. Teho, draft surrender terms for the galactic species. Surrender terms? Teho asked. They are going to realize they need us. When they do, I want them to understand that Earth is no longer asking for a seat at their table. We are offering them seats at ours, Dr. Kang reported from her station. Commander, awakening volunteers are reporting shared visions. They see battles, technologies, and tactical knowledge from humanity's ancient past. The genetic memories are fully activating. Outside, Earth's enhanced fleet moved into defensive positions around the solar system. Across the planet, awakened humans felt the same calling their ancestors had answered 20,000 years before. The galaxy's guardians were returning to duty, and this time they would not hide their strength behind diplomatic courtesy. The age of human restraint was over. Captain Jiwon Park stood on the bridge of the new human dreadnought Soul's Vengeance, watching sensors that showed things that should not exist. The Devourers had arrived at the galaxy's edge, and their very presence was making reality unstable. Captain, the enemy fleet is unlike anything in our databases, reported her tactical officer. They appear to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Our targeting systems cannot lock onto them properly. Through the view screen, G1 could see tiers in space itself where the Devourers moved. Stars simply ceased to exist as the entities passed near them, leaving behind regions of absolute nothing. Commander. Oh, are you receiving our sensor data? She called to the Eternal Vigil. Sang-min's ancient voice came through the communication system. Yes, Captain. This is what we have been fighting for 20,000 years. Notice how they move. They do not travel through space. They consume it and replace it with their own reality. Supreme Commander Hyojin Bei's image appeared on the tactical screen from Earth's command center. All ships, this is not a battle for territory or resources. This is a battle for the right to exist. Show the galaxy what humanity was born to do. Behind Earth's enhanced fleet, hundreds of vessels from galactic species watched nervously. After seeing the human demonstration 3 days ago, most had agreed to accept Earth's leadership. Those who refused had withdrawn to their home systems, choosing isolation over cooperation. Ambassador Tae-ho, now commanding the diplomatic vessel New Alliance, opened channels to the mixed fleet. All allied vessels maintain formation behind human ships. Do not attempt to engage the enemy directly until ordered. The first wave of devourers reached the outer system's edge. They moved like living shadows, each one the size of a small moon. Where they passed, the fabric of space rippled and twisted. Captain Park beginning primary engagement. Admiral Woo-jin reported from his flagship. All human vessels, activate dimensional stabilizers. Ji-won felt her ship's systems respond. The awakened humans on her crew interfaced directly with the vessel's technology, their enhanced minds processing information at impossible speeds. Around them, space became solid and real again as human technology forced reality to remain stable. Fire when ready, she ordered. The Soul's vengeance unleashed weapons that existed only in human hands. Beams of crystallized time struck the nearest devourer, causing it to freeze in place while its substance was torn apart at the quantum level. Other human ships fired dimensional disruptors that prevented the enemies from shifting between realities. But for every devourer destroyed, 2 more emerged from the void between galaxies. Captain, we are receiving communication from the enemy, her communications officer reported with surprise. Put it through. The voice that filled the bridge was not sound but pure concept. Words that appeared directly in their minds. Children of Terra, you have returned to feed us. Your galaxy will be consumed as countless others have been. Sangmin's voice cut through the alien communication. Do not listen to them. They speak to weaken your resolve. Captain Park, execute Protocol Guardian. Ji-won had no idea what Protocol Guardian meant, but something deep in her awakened genetics did. Her hands moved across controls she had never seen before, activating systems that had not existed an hour ago. Throughout the human fleet, similar scenes played out. Ships began to change, growing additional weapons and defenses as their crews' enhanced abilities unlocked new technologies. The vessels themselves seemed to evolve in real time. This is impossible, breathed her tactical officer. The ship is rewriting its own design. Not rewriting, Ji-won realized. Remembering. These ships were always capable of this. We just had to remember how to use them. The battle intensified. Devourers swarmed toward the inhabited systems, but human ships met them at every turn. Each engagement revealed new capabilities as awakened humans accessed genetic memories from their species' greatest warriors. From Earth's command center, Dr. Yunhai Kang reported stunning discoveries. Commander Bei, the awakening process is accelerating across the entire human population. People who never volunteered are spontaneously developing enhanced abilities. It is as if the presence of the enemy is triggering automatic responses. How is that possible? The genetic modifications from 20,000 years ago included contingency programming. If humanity ever faced the devourers again, the entire species would begin awakening automatically. On the battlefield, the tide was turning. Human weapons that manipulated reality itself proved effective against entities that existed partially outside normal space. But the cost was enormous. Each engagement required awakened humans to risk their sanity by interfacing with technologies that strained human consciousness. Tae-ho coordinated with the allied galactic species. All non-human vessels, we need you to protect the inhabited systems while human ships engage the main enemy force. We cannot fight these things, replied a Centauri captain. Our weapons pass through them harmlessly. You do not need to fight them. Just evacuate civilians and maintain supply lines. Leave the devourers to us. Sangmin's voice reached every human ship simultaneously. All vessels prepare for the final gambit. We are going to implement the strategy we developed during our 20,000 years in the void. Commander. O's intentions became clear as the Eternal Vigil moved toward the largest concentration of devourers. The ancient ship began to glow with energy that hurt to look at directly. Commander, what are you doing? Ji-Wan called, what we always planned to do. Captain, the Devourers believe they are consuming our galaxy. They do not realize this was never about defense, it was about offense. Across the human fleet, ancient systems activated. Each ship began broadcasting signals that reached beyond the galaxy, into the dark spaces between star systems. For 20,000 years, Sang-Min explained, we let the Devourers believe they were hunting us in the void. In reality, we were studying them, learning their weaknesses and preparing a trap. From the deepest regions of intergalactic space, new signals emerged. Thousands of them, ancient human ships that had been hiding in the darkness for millennia, waiting for this moment. The Eternal Vigil was not the only ship to survive the Long Watch, Sang-Min continued. We scattered our fleet across the cosmic dark, positioning them around every entrance to this galaxy. The Devourers are not invading. They are walking into the largest ambush in cosmic history. The trap closed. From every direction, ancient human vessels emerged from hiding, surrounding the Devourer invasion force, ships that had been fighting in the void for 20,000 years, crewed by humans who had become something beyond mortal understanding. All allied vessels witnessed the true strength of Terra, Hyejin announced. We did not just survive in the darkness, we conquered it. The final battle was brief but absolute. Trapped between the galaxy's defenses and the returning Long Watch fleet, the Devourers found themselves faced with technology they could not counter and strategies they could not predict. As the last enemy vessel was destroyed, reality stabilized across the galaxy. Stars that had been consumed were restored as human technology reversed the damage the Devourers had caused. Tae-Ho opened channels to every species in the galaxy. This is Earth. The threat has been eliminated. Humanity's long watch is ending and we are coming home. In the aftermath, as rescue ships moved through the battlefield and diplomats prepared new treaties, Ji-Wan received a private message from Commander Sang-Min. Captain, the galaxy will need guidance in the years ahead. They have seen what lies beyond their borders and they will never feel truly safe again. Humanity must decide whether to resume our role as guardians or allow other species to develop their own defenses. Ji-Wan looked out at the mixed fleet of human and alien vessels working together to restore damaged systems. What do you recommend, Commander? That we teach them to protect themselves. The age of humanity hiding in the shadows is over, but so is the age of us carrying the burden alone. From Earth, Supreme Commander Hyejin Bei addressed the galaxy. For 20,000 years we protected you by letting you believe you were safe. That protection cost us everything. Our history, our technology, our place among the stars. Today, you have seen the price of that safety. She paused, letting her words reach every inhabited world. Humanity will no longer hide our strength. We will no longer pretend to be weak for your comfort. But we will also not rule over you. The galaxy belongs to all of us, and all of us must be ready to defend it. The crisis was over, but everything had changed. Earth was no longer the forgotten world on the edge of civilization. Humanity was no longer the newcomer species seeking acceptance. They were home, and they would never hide again. The galaxy would adapt to this new reality, or it would find itself truly alone when the next threat emerged from the darkness between stars. But that was a concern for future generations. For now, the Long Watch was ended and humanity's guardians could finally rest.